This call is now being recorded.
Okay, students. So we see in earlier class uh, energy versus power, followed by periodic versus non-periodic. Next, causal versus non-causal. And in today's class, we are going to see next classification of signal. Yes, we are going to consider even versus odd signal. Am I audible, Anuradha?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay. Even versus odd signal. This signal is also called symmetric. Even signal is also called symmetric.
Excuse me, sir. So you're not audible. So you're not audible.
Now is it okay, Anuradha?
Oh, yes, sir.
So this even signal is symmetric signal and odd signal is symmetric. So when we can say signal is even. So a signal is called even. Even signal when.
So your voice is breaking. I guess there is some network issue.
Okay. Just a moment. Now it's okay.
Yes, sir. It is okay now.
Okay. So this is a signal when we can call it even signal when it satisfies the condition, that is this one. If it is or sorry, if it is continuous time signal, this will be x of minus t. This is equal to x of t. If both equal, then we can say that signal is even signal. And when we can say odd signal. A signal is odd signal when x of minus t, this is equal to minus xt. This is for odd. In one case, you are getting x of minus t equal to plus xt, and in this case, you are getting x of minus t equal to minus xt. And same you repeat for the case of discrete time as well. There's no problem. So if you consider discrete, this will be x of minus n equal to x of n, and for this case, x of minus n equal to minus xn. That's it. This is for continuous and this is for discrete. But logic would remain same. Okay, so once we satisfy if both LHS and RHS equal, then we can say that signal is even signal. For example, if you consider xt equal to, let me give you one example, xt equal to cos phi t. Simply, I gave this simply one trigonometric function, and I would like to know what kind of this signal is, whether it is even signal or odd signals. So simply use this. If it satisfies this condition, x of minus t equal to xt, I will say that signal is even signal. If it satisfies this case, x of minus t equal to minus xt, then I will say odd signal. If both conditions do not satisfy, then we say that signal is neither even nor odd. Okay, so let's do. So this is what we have xt. So RHS we got. This is RHS. Now we have to start from LHS. Now see what LHS is. So LHS says you simply replace this t with minus t and see what you are getting. So from LHS, if you replace t with minus t, you'll be getting LHS. So this is what cos t will be minus t, means minus phi t. And you know, cos minus theta is what? Uh, cos theta is cos phi t xt. So what is your conclusion? X of minus t is now equal to xt. So we are satisfying this case, x of minus t equal to xt. So if we are satisfying this case, so that signal will be even signal. So this way mathematically you can verify. Graphically also you can verify, but for graphically to say signal is even and odd, you must understand the symmetric and anti-symmetric concept. Okay, so that part also I'll see, and then I'll let you know how graphically we can say that signal is even signal or odd signal. So is this okay, Anuradha? Is this example okay for you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is an example of even signal. Now let me go to verify why this is called symmetric and why odd signal is called antisymmetric. Okay. So let me keep this condition here. So now we are going to verify in this signal to verify the even signal. Even signal is symmetric signal, and odd signal is anti-symmetric signal. Anti-symmetric. Okay. So now see what logic is, why this is called symmetric. So to verify this, I will be considering this case. See, what we have a case basically. If I consider this is my event function, so let us consider xt. This is your continuous time signal. So any function you see here, you consider this xt means at t equal to 0, what you will get x0. At t equal to 1, what you will get x1. T equal to 2, what you will get x2. T equal to 3, what you will get x3. So this xt is what basically. So this xt is simply what you have, that is x0, x1, x2, and so on and so forth, right? So what we see, whatever we have argument, see here, it is either in the form of even and odd, 1, 3, 5, 7, 0, 2, 4, 6, right? So this way I can write this xt is basically a combination of even function x of et, even means 0, 2, 4, 6, so on and so forth. So this is what you have, even function plus odd. So what odd is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and so on and so forth. So this is your odd component of xt. So this is even component and this is odd component. All right. Now here, next what we have, x of minus t. So what you do, replace t with minus t. So then what you will get, replace t with minus t, you will be getting this x of e. E stands for even component of xt. This will give you, sorry, this will give you xe minus t plus odd component of this minus t. Once we have these two equations, assume this equation number 1 and this equation number 2. So if we add 1 and 2, add equation 1 and 2, what you will get? So if you add this gives you simply, wait a minute student, wait a minute, Nuradha. See here. If this is even component, just a moment, wait a minute. If this is x of minus t, so what we have definition from this even signal. Even signal means this is your even signal. So x of xe minus t, that will be equal to what? Xet, no? This is your even signal. Here you put a subscript e. So here also you have to put a subscript e. So xe minus t equal to what? Xet. So this also I may write this way. That is xe t means xe as a function of t. And similarly for this odd, xo minus t. So here if you put subscript o, so here also you have to put o. So xo minus t is what? Minus xot. So this I will write minus xot. And then you assume this equation number 3. So now we are going to add equation 1 and 3. So if you add equation 1 and 3, what you will get? LHS will get added here. So xt plus x of minus t, LHS will be added. So if you add RHS, so XET plus XET, that gives you twice XET, twice of XET. This is plus XOT and this is minus XOT. So if you add these two, so this term will be cancelled out. So we have simply this. Then what we can write? Even component of xt, I may write this way: 1 by 2 into xt plus x of minus t. Okay. So this is what you have, even component of the signal xt. Simply what you do, xt, then you take x of minus t, add both, and then divide it by 2. That's all. This is an even component of xt. In the same way, to find odd component of xt, so what you do to find odd component of xt, subtract equation 1 and 3. So here, if you subtract equation 1 and 3, what you will get? Subtract 1 and 3. So subtraction means LHS will get subtracted here. Xt minus x of minus t. And what about RHS? So if you subtract 1 and 3, so XET will cancel out. XOT minus minus XOT, that gives you twice of XOT. So twice of XOT. So what is odd component of XT? Now we can write odd component of XT. XOT 1 by 2 that's all. So this is the odd component of xt and this is even component. So this even component is called, this component is called symmetric signal, we can say symmetric signal, and this is antisymmetric. Okay, this is antisymmetric. So graphically, I'll show you how this is symmetric and how this is antisymmetric. And same you apply for the case of discrete also. So wherever you have t, that t will be replaced with a small n, and that will be a representation of discrete, right? So now let's begin to verify this even component of xt, how it is symmetric. Okay. Let me consider one example, student. So here I consider simple example. As I told you, this will be your even component and this is your odd component. So suppose I'm giving one problem. Let us consider this problem. Say xn, this is your xn. I'm saying this is 1, 2, 3. That's it. Very simple sample given to you. So for this, we would like to know what is the even component. Means we have to find what is the even component of this xn and odd component of xn, student. That's it. This is what we are interested in. What is this value? This is what we are interested in. Even component of xn and odd component of xn. That's it. So what we have to do to find even component, we have to use this equation. To find odd component, we have to use this equation. That's it. Okay, so do that. So see, if you find even component of xn, that gives you what? 1 by 2 xn plus x of minus n. This is a discrete data, no? This is not continuous, this is discrete. So simply replace t with a small n. That's all. So here you have to find xn and then you have to find x minus n. So my objective is for this given xn, how do we find x of minus n? Okay. See here, to find x minus n, that is my question. How do we find x minus n? If we find x minus n, then only we can find even component of xn. Because xn I know, but thing is that we should know what x minus n. Okay, so how will you find this? So first of all, you see from the given problem, what is given to you? So xn given to me means what this one represent. So this one represent at n equal to 0, what is the amplitude of xn? What about this two? So this will represent amplitude of xn at n equal to 1. What about this? So this will represent the amplitude of xn at n equal to 2. Therefore, what I may write? This xn is basically x0, x1, x2, where x0 value is 1. This is given to you. This is 2. This is 3. And if you plot the graph for this, graphically you wanted to show it. So how will you plot it? So this way I will plot. So this is my xn. This is your n. So n equal to 0, what you have? Amplitude 1. N equal to 0, amplitude is 1. So this is n equal to 0, amplitude is 1. So this is 1. N equal to 1, amplitude is 2. N equal to 1, amplitude is 2. N equal to 2, amplitude is 3. So this is what we have a graph for xn. But my question is still there to find x minus n. So how will I find this, student? That is a question. So see here, to find x minus n, this is given, means this is given, this is given. From this given, we have to find this. So how will I proceed? Now see, what is given? X0, x1, x2. So this is given to me. So what value of n should I put here? What value of n should I keep so that this combination gives me x0, this combination gives me 0, 1, 2. So if I put n equal to 0 here, this x of minus n gives you x0. Yes, that's true. So here I'm writing at n equal to 0, I'm getting my x0. So what x0 value is? x0 value is 1. अब आप बोलेंगे सर x0 यहाँ पे क्यों लिखे, यहाँ पे क्यों नहीं लिखा? So इसका आंसर मैं आपको देता हूँ. Just a minute. You will get answer for this. Now see, next what we have been given this x1. So what value of n should I put so that this argument of x becomes 1? So if you put n equal to minus 1, we have minus already. If you put n equal to minus 1, so this gives you what? Minus into minus plus, then only you will get x1, which is given to you 2. So at what value of n? So n equal to minus 1. So where minus 1 will come? This is at n equal to 0, just before this. So this is what? This is your x1 you will be getting. And what x1? Means if you put n equal to, if you put this value n equal to -1, so of course this is what, this is at n equal to 0, you can say. This is at n equal to -1. So at n equal to -1, you put, you will be getting x1 value, and x1 value is 2. So 2 will come here. Next, what, this is given to you x2. So what value of n should I put so that it gives you x2? Simply n equal to -2. So -2 means minus into minus plus, that gives you x2. So at n equal to -2, this will give you x2, and what x2 is 3. So what is your observation? So when you plot this x minus n, you see you are getting sample this way, means it will be started from here, means this is n equal to -2, -1, 0. So just below this, I'm going to plot the graph of this, and then we have to add. So this is a graph of x minus n. You see, n equal to 0, we have sample 1, that is amplitude 1. This is 1. N equal to -1, we have amplitude 2. N equal to 1, we have amplitude 2. N equal to 2, we have amplitude 3. Okay, so what you see, when you have x and x minus n, so x minus n basically, what we can say, you just keep one mirror, so you can say just it is a mirror image of the information that we are getting here in other side. So it is just a kind of mirror image. This is also called time reversal signal. Time reversal. So with respect to time, this amplitude is lying in opposite side of this. That's all. That's why this is called time reversal. Here, this is a time. Over this time, you are getting 1 to 3. Reverse this time, 0, -1, -2. That sample will be there. Hope I make you clear, Anuradha.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So xn, now what we have to do? Now we have to add these two. So perform addition. So if you add, what you will get? See here. So this side, you don't have any amplitude. You consider this as a 0. This is -1, -2. This side also we don't have any amplitude. Consider this 0. Where? At 1. And then you have to add it. So once you add, what you will get? At n equal to 0, we have 1 here, and this is 1. So addition of this xen, this is what I'm going to perform here, xn plus x minus n. Simply we are adding these two. So at n equal to 0, 1 plus 1, that gives you 2. So this is my arrow mark. Arrow mark means this is a time where we have to start, so at n equal to 0. So this is n equal to 0. Now see, at n equal to what? N equal to 1, what we have? This is amplitude 2. Here we have amplitude 0. So 2 plus 0 is 2. So n equal to 1, amplitude is 2. N equal to 2, amplitude is 0 here, and here amplitude is 3. So 3 plus 0 is 3. So this is 3. Coming to this side, this is -1, -2. So at -1, what you have? 2, and here we have a 0. This is 2, this is 0. So 2 plus 0 is 2. Next, n equal to -2. This amplitude is 3, and this is 0. So 3 plus 0 is 3. So this is what you have addition. So what we have to do after performing this addition, now what? We have to divide this by 2. So 1 by 2 you have to multiply. So once you multiply 1 by 2, so it will be 3 into 1 by 2. This will be 2 into 1 by 2. This will be 2 into 1 by 2. This is 2 into 1 by 2. This is 3 into 1 by 2. So you are getting here 3 by 2 is 1.5, 2 by 2 is 1, 2 by 2 is 1, 2 by 2 is 1, 3 by 2 is 1.5, and this is your arrow mark. And now you plot, students. See here, about this, what we see, whatever sample we are getting this side, same we are getting this side. Whatever sample we are getting this side, we are getting other side. So if you plot this waveform for XEN, what you will get? So XEN at n equal to 0, this is 1. This is n equal to 0. N equal to 1, you will be getting 1 here. N equal to 2, you are getting 1.5. N equal to minus 1, this is 1. N equal to minus 2, you are getting 1.5. So what is your observation from this graph, student? See here. This is minus 1, minus 2, 1. So about this axis, you see about this axis, or we can say imaginary axis of XEN, we see graph is symmetric, right? So whatever you are getting 1 here, same you are getting this. So this is just a mirror image. Same, this is just a mirror image. So same replica you are getting other side of this XEN. That's why this is called even component of Xn is symmetric signal, right? So this is called symmetric signal, students. In the same way, you can verify this odd component of Xn, that will be antisymmetric. So antisymmetric means 180-degree out of phase shift, means if it is positive side, this side will be downward like this. So that I'm leaving for you to complete, Anuradha. You please do it from your side. So when you're going to find odd component, just a difference here, this will be O. And in place of this plus, you have to consider this minus. And then you perform the same and you see what you are getting, right? So should I leave for you to complete or should I complete? What do you say, Anuradha?
So I'll try and
Okay.
let you.
Okay, okay. You please try it, and if you are not able to solve, please let me know. Then I will solve it. Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right. So now we have a next uh, last topic of this classification of signals. That is simple one that we can see. Uh, Wait a minute. Deterministic versus random signal or non-deterministic signal, you can say. Random signal. Random signal is also called noisy signal or noisy signal. Now question may answer, what is deterministic signal? So deterministic signal is a signal which can be predicted in future. So that signal is called deterministic signal. For example, I am saying if you consider this xt equal to t square. So I can say at this much of time, this will be the amplitude of the signal. Suppose at t equal to 2, I may say what is the amplitude of this signal. So I may say at t equal to 2, the amplitude of this signal will be 4, right? Same at t equal to 10 second, we say what will be the amplitude of this signal? That is your 100. So if we are not sure about this amplitude in future, whatever time, suppose we are at present, consider this as t equal to 0. After 5 we do not know what will be the amplitude of the signal. That signal will not be deterministic signal. That signal will be your random signal, or we can say kind of noisy signal. Kind of noisy signal means may or may not be, right? So that will be a random signal. So again, I repeat, when I call signal is deterministic, when when the amplitude of the signal can be determined, that is a signal which is called deterministic signal. Means amplitude can be predicted. If it could be predicted, that signal is called deterministic. Otherwise, that signal is called a random signal. So example is very simple. So whatever signals you are studying in your course, they all will be a deterministic signal, right? Noisy signal means suppose I'm giving my lecture here, and some third party came and they start shouting. So of course that candidate is noisy, right? So that is not desirable, but because of some external issue, it happens. So of course that will be a part of noisy. So I hope you understand what is basically a deterministic and non-deterministic signal. Understand, Anuradha? Should I take one more example?
So, one example.
Okay. Suppose here I consider next, I may consider xt equal to 5, 5t you consider. So what this signal is, it is deterministic signal or non-deterministic signal. Means when you put a value of time t at any instant of time, whether you take in present, past, or future, if it gives you, if this function makes sure what will be the amplitude at every instant of time, then we can say that signal is a deterministic signal. So at an instant of time means you can consider as a past, you can consider as a present, you can consider as a future. So let me consider x at t equal to 0. So I'm sure what will be the magnitude at t equal to 0. So what will be 0? So at t equal to 0, if you put this value at t equal to 0, that gives you 5 into 0, that is 0. So I'm sure what is the amplitude of this function at t equal to 0, that is 0. Same if you consider t equal to minus 1, means when time I'm talking in past, uh, at t equal to minus 1, what will happen? So at t equal to minus, the moment you go at t equal to minus 1, that gives you minus 5. So I'm sure about the amplitude of this signal. So at t equal to minus 1, it would be minus 5. Same I'm sure at t equal to 100. At t equal to 100, I'm sure what is the amplitude of this function. That will be 500. Why 500? Simply you put t equal to 100. 100 into 5, that gives you 500. So I'm 100% sure this will be the amplitude at t equal to 100. So this signal is called deterministic signal. A signal which, amplitude of the signal can be predicted. That signal is called deterministic signal. Otherwise, non-deterministic signal we say. Understand, Anuradha?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's all for today. Actually, Vanshika is not here, so this is not a good time to start new topic. So I will be discussing some advanced level of topic. This is just a basic I discussed. So based on this, I will discuss some advanced topic, or we can consider some few problems here also to make you understand what basically a signal is, right? And then we will start a system. So that's all for today, Anuradha. Rest you'll see in next class.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.